present with the exception of President Grijalva, who was on sick leave. Recording Secretary Juanita read the previous minutes of June 30th, 2011. There was a correction to the minutes, item E, to President Grijalva, M. Simmons Bad, and P. Dermis A. Annex A, knowing that the union cover this cost was added to the minutes. 1. There was a question as to why there were not copies of the general minutes available for to clarify that the executive board and council minutes shall be read and made available for review by any member at the next branch meeting. That is what is in the Constitution. 2. There was much discussion as to the accuracy, editing, style, process, and adding of details to the minutes. Answer. The recording secretary clarified. Oh. Can you guys hear me?
No.
I was trying.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, 2. There was much discussion as to the accuracy, editing, style, process, and adding of details to the minutes. The answer was the recording secretary clarified that she was given training by the National for the duties of recording secretary. I was trained that the purpose of keeping minutes was to keep track of all votes. They should be brief but exact in wording. Also, to write an accurate but impartial general summary of the events that took place at the meeting. They should not include the discussion nor reflect personal opinions. Minutes are not written verbatim. 3. There was a question concerning the proposal to post the minutes on the website. Why haven't they been posted? The recording secretary responded, the last minutes that were voted and approved were posted on the website within the proper time limits, and this is per the approved proposal. 4. Why weren't the 8, 10, 11 executive minutes posted? The recording secretary clarified that the executive board meeting held on 8, 10, 11 was not completed. There was no completed financial review or vote on the treasurer's report. The executive board agreed to reconvene and complete the business of the meeting. Once the meeting was completed, the minutes will be written and mailed out in a timely manner per the Constitution. This has been the practice of the local. There was a proposal made by Chad Williams that the minutes be provided within the 21 days, even if there is a continuation of the meeting. There was no call for a vote for this proposal. Ruben motioned to vote on accepting the 6/30/11 minutes. Kim Rojas seconded the motion. Not in favor, 14. Did not call for a favor in this vote. C. Anthony Coleman presented the second quarter treasurer's report. He went over the categories, stated that the CD balance was $487,108,051. The net was $5,564.64. We had a positive income this quarter, did not lose any money this quarter. The following questions were asked. 1. What was the CD balance last year? Answer. It was down to around $470,000. Is the treasurer supposed to provide a year-end CD report? Tony answered he will have to check on that. The only proposal he is aware of is to provide a CD balance on the treasurer's report. It was requested that the treasurer provide a CD report for the year of January through December 2010. The treasurer stated he had no problem, but he was not the treasurer at that time and he would look into this. It was requested to provide a CD report from 2007 to 2010 with balances due to the allegations of wrongdoing. Answer, the treasurer stated he would check with the national because he would check with the national because what is being asked for is a detailed financial analysis. 5, item 7180, meeting meals, San Jose. What does this cover? Was this just for one branch meeting? The treasurer stated he would provide clarification. Item 7110, equipment rental. Was there a car rental that cost the union $541? Answer, yes, the union paid for car rental due to the union car being unavailable. It was in an accident in April 2011. It was requested that the treasury report be more extensive and transparent, that if there is something out of the ordinary, it should be posted on the treasurer's report. Answer, this is the type and style of treasurer's report that the local has always used, and it is modeled after the national's treasurer's report. I will look into seeing if there is a type of report that would be more detailed. I will check this out with national. Item 6630, lodging. There was a question concerning the current practice, the past policies, and the current policies. The treasurer stated he reviewed all minutes and there was no written policy in place concerning lodging. This is now a current policy. There is now a current policy in place. 9, a specific question concerning a charge on the credit card bill for a hotel in Vacaville. The treasurer clarified that the credit card had the amount on the statement, but it was credited and paid on the same day. Prior to the union receiving the credit card statement bill, the union never paid for the amount on the bill. 10, there were many questions, concerns, allegations, and accusations brought up concerning issues surrounding charges that are pending against President Grijalva, Treasurer Coleman, Recording Secretary Contreras. The treasurer stated he cannot discuss any of these issues because charges are pending. 11, at the executive board, the second quarter treasurer's report was accepted by Ernie Grijalva, Anthony Coleman, and Juanita Contreras. 12, who gives authorization for representation for EEOs? Answer, the president has to give authorization for someone to come and represent you. It's not automatically approved for payment. 12, an employee from San Jose asked for help for her EEO. Ruben gave Ed Alcantara permission to go help and support. What type of leave is President Grijalva on? He is currently on sick leave. He has enough sick leave to cover his time off. Elizabeth Anderson mentioned motion to not accept the treasurer's report. Kelly seconded this motion. Ruben called for a no vote. 15 was the no vote, and he did not call for a yes vote. D, President's travel and activity report for the second quarter was presented. There were questions concerning the President's visit to facilities. Ruben stated that Ernie had to answer these questions in relation to the President's report. It was stated that the President's responsibility is to visit each facility at least every 6 months and walk the floor. Kim Rojas stated Ernie did not visit 5 times and did not walk the floor in Oakland. E, open hearing. Fernando Mata motioned that Ed Alcantara arbitrate Stockton cases. Kelly seconded this motion. There were 29 cases on the last docket. Ruben authorized and approved this motion. 2, question to Executive Board. What is the purpose of the Executive Board and when does the Executive Board step in to help the members? Ruben and Fernando stated that they did put in a proposal to remove and suspend Ernie from his position while he was going through his issues and to put someone else to run the union. Juanita answered, I can only speak for myself. While Ernie is out, he has been in communication with us at the office when I am there. I have handled any questions that have been brought up. I have also handled EEOs, OWCP, redress, pre-arbitrations, and NLRB charges. Whatever was needed, I am working on to make sure the union is running per the President's instructions, communications, and proposals put forth, and proposals. Okay. There was another question, if I supported proposals put forth by Ruben and Fernando to suspend or remove Ernie Grijalva from his position, and the Recording Secretary stated, I did not support these proposals as they are not within the Constitution to do either of them. There is a process to go through, whoever it is, to have a fair chance to go through the internal process. These proposals were not appropriate and within the Constitution. C, Tony answered, I do the business of this union every day, 7 days a week. I am doing something for this union. I have done arbitrations, pre-arbitrations, and have worked with people in other offices. D, there was much discussion as to the manner in the union is being run while Ernie is on sick leave. It was stated we should all be working together and we should move this union forward. There was a question addressed to Tony Juanita. Due to everything you have heard here in this meeting, are you going to file charges now against Ernie? Tony said, I do not have an answer for you. Juanita said, based on what has been stated here, I only have heard accusations, assumptions, and information that is not correct, so no. F, there were many questions concerning issues that have to do with charges. Juanita Contreras did not answer any of these questions in relation to the charges filed. Kim Rojas proposed to have an emergency council meeting to reduce President Grijalva's salary to $65,000. Elizabeth Anderson seconded this proposal. Ruben called for in favor vote, and there was 15 yes, and there was no other vote called for. Tony stated that this is not proper forum per the Constitution. Kim Rojas requested a phone poll be done for the council. Ruben took the vote for council members present. Lennon Vito, yes. Kim Rojas, yes. Fernando Mata, yes. Ruben Martin, yes. Tony Juanita stated this is not the proper forum for a vote. This is not a council meeting. H, there was a question concerning cell phones. The president has a cell phone. Fresno branch president gets reimbursed $50 for her cell phone use as Fresno has no long distance service. It was stated that whoever needs help with a cell phone can request through proposal at the executive board. I, a question was brought up concerning ergonomics. It was stated that one of the San Jose stewards has filed a grievance requesting and trying to reestablish the ergonomic program in San Jose. J, San Jose has many problems. All new crew, they need help. Lennon requested additional training. Ruben approved to have Ed Alcantar go help with arbitrations and training. K, clerks have become mail handlers, do not get the COLA as they are getting paid their clerk's salary, clerk scale level 6. If they are level 5, this needs to be addressed. L, dues are $19 a pay period per the question asked. E, Ed Alcantar motion to adjourn the meeting. Kim Rojas seconded this motion. A vote taken. All in favor, motion passed. There was a PAC drawing. Juanita Contreras won the PAC. She donated the money back to the PAC.
Wow, she liked that a lot.
Is there any amendments to the minutes? Kim?
Juanita, you read in the very front of that minutes that Chad made a proposal at that meeting. What was the proposal Chad made?
21 days has to be posted, even if it wasn't. Want her to read it off, so you can put it right.
There was a proposal made by Chad Williams that the minutes be provided within 21 days, even if there is a continuation of a meeting. There was no call for a vote on this proposal.
Didn't we?
Yes, we did. There was a
Yes,
call
we
for a
did.
vote.
I seconded myself.
But there was no call for a vote.
Yes, there
There
was.
was no,
Well, once it's second, there should have been a call automatically called
Did
for a
call for a
vote.
vote.
but there was no, I listened to the tape and there was no call for a vote. So
was a
there was
vote.
no
There was
number,
a
no
vote.
one said yes and no number said
There was a
no.
vote.
Your tape recorder might have been off at that time.
You remember your tape, you had problems with it?
Yep.
Hello, Ms. Contreras.
Yes,
At that time, remember, there was a vote call to your tape. You had problems with your tape, remember?
no, the tape was on at that time, during that period, the tape was.
Okay, well, the whole,
Yes,
well, there's a whole room here saying that there was a vote, and most of us that are talking about it were actually at the meeting.
well, I just wrote down what the vote was, you know, that there was no vote, there was a proposal. And there was a lot of people talking at one time, so I didn't hear Ruben call for a vote to say how many in favor and how many against.
Are there any other amendments to the minutes? Elizabeth?
Yes, we asked Tony and Juanita what had been done while you were in rehab about the closing of the buildings, and I would like it to be put down that they said nothing. They weren't doing anything on that. We have a recording too. We have a recording too. Chad, you still have the recording, right?
Okay, as far as I know, I was about to find it.
Well, we have the recording too.
Okay, anything
You have
else?
it available?
Yeah, yeah, right here.
Okay, can we play for it?
I
got to find it.
Why we can't play
Anything
it?
else? I'm just taking amendments and we'll decide
Okay,
whether
well,
to change
follow
or
up.
not, all right?
Okay.
Is there any more? Okay, I'm gonna move on to the treasurer's report.
Are we gonna
Vote to accept or reject to report again.
If you'd like to.
Yes.
Is there a motion to accept the minutes? Is there a second? All in favor? All against? Okay, in favor,
Are you gonna?
okay, why don't we do it by all hands again? Can we do this again?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor indicate by raising your hands
In favor of what?
of the minutes. All against? How many didn't vote? Right. It looks to me as a showing of hands that it was in favor. There was quite a few people that didn't even vote. So I'm gonna say that the motion passes.
Why don't you count then and get an accurate number?
Because I just said the motion passes.
So we just do what you say.
Unilateral action.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the treasurer's report. You all received a copy of the treasurer's
It's
report.
another labor charge.
Are there any questions regarding the
What's he
treasurer's
gonna do, hit us?
report? Juanita?
I just have one question. I'm here it says union picnic, is that because there was one office that had a separate picnic and it
Yes,
wasn't for the whole local?
What? Thank you. Burrito always has their picnic separate because of their location, so they still were able to have a picnic, and theirs always done separately than Sereno Picnic open to everybody. I doubt that they would have an issue if you wanted to drive up there. I mean,
Weren't aware of it.
yeah, I've never heard them denying anybody if you wanted to go there. I'm sure they would let you. It's fun. Yeah, most people just don't want to go down there. It's not convenient for all of them to come down here to go to our, and this year we didn't have one. There was no reason to pay less. It wasn't a minor expense.
I have a question. When we have somebody retire, how much? It's $500, right? The
Yes,
payment?
$500.
Do we have an account like separate for that?
Yes, there's a separate account.
How much money is in that account?
We just keep enough money in there to cover the retirements, so it's not a major amount. Like right now, I think there's like $2,000 in it. It's just replenished it as necessary.
So I still have a question there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So, I'm wondering, so it's looking like they may be giving an early out. So how are we gonna do that? I mean, at the very minimum, we'll probably look at maybe getting 250 mail handlers might retire. And that would be, I would
Yeah.
assume, a small number with all the accessing and closing of plants.
This has actually been brought up in the past because, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna be incentivized to retire. And that could be a major load to our finances if we have to pay on top of people get $25,000. We have an executive board meeting again scheduled for January. So we'll look at it then and make a decision on how we're gonna do that. The legislation hasn't actually gone through right now. There's no incentive. I know there's a lot of people that have put off retiring because they wanna see if they're gonna get some money, but there's nothing that has been done yet. So if they do make a change like that, then we'll have to address it.
And that money will have to come out of our total CDs. Like, let's say it does happen. Let's, just hypothetically, let's say it happens, and that'll have to come out of the 400 and something thousand.
Typically, the CDs haven't been touched since I took office. We just use it on our general operating fund. We don't have like separate budgets and all that. So, we've been able to keep up with the retirements just out of our general operating budget. So we haven't touched the CDs, and hopefully we won't have to. This year we've been doing really well on the finances. This quarter was fantastic. This quarter, probably not most of you are going to be here in January when we do the actual fourth quarter review. Every year, as long as going back, I have records, we've lost money in the fourth quarter because of all the expenses we have. We have the mail handler benefit plan, We have shop
Got 'em
steward.
all. Stand up.
We have this, the Christmas party, shop steward compensations, where all the shop stewards are compensated, lost a minimum of $60,000 to $70,000 in the fourth quarter every single year for 5 or 6 years. Last year, we lost like 140. I think we're going to make money this year, and if we don't, we're just going to lose a little bit. So the changes that have been made are definitely paying off. We're doing a really good job of managing.
No, yeah.
Any other questions?
So how much did we save this past quarter?
We put about $2,000, $1,900 and something away. A lot of that, it would have been a lot more than that, but we caught up on some LIUNA payments that we had, and we made a big down payment for this party.
So 1,900 will only cover 4 mail handlers if they retire. What if 200 goes? You know
I'm not
that's
saying
gonna
we
be.
have $1,900. I'm saying that we put away $1,900 this quarter.
But what Kim's trying to say is if 200 mail handlers go, that's $120,000 you've got to pay out. Plus, you lose all their dues.
Yes.
How are we budgeting for that?
Like I said, we've been making changes to the finances. Our finances improved. If you look over the past years, over the past few years, we've lost money. This year, we're going to make money. So we're making the changes necessary.
So we have
to
a
put away-
budget now, or we're still
No,
delaying
we
that?
don't. No, we don't have a budget per se, but we do budget everything. We have more rules in place, and we're much more careful with how we spend our money.
No more hotels? All right, I'm just gonna go.
Only when necessary. Any other questions? Yeah.
I was wondering, is the amount of mileage, what's that for?
Mileage, when anybody drives for the union, they're compensated at the IRS mileage rate. So that's everybody, all our representatives, officers who drive for the unit.
It's a minute.
Yes. That's who drive. Chad?
Hey, as a steward with a number of grievances awaiting arbitration that up to 2 to 3 years now, I'm wondering what 7480B is. Arbitration fees canceled, $3,255.
We cancel arbitrations, and if we cancel them, I'll show you where, if we cancel them before 30 days, or later than 30 days out, we have to pay a portion of that. We actually canceled about 16, by my count, arbitrations this quarter. That's less than we canceled last year, and even with that, when we cancel those, like I arbitrated, or I pre-arbitrated a number of cases in my own office, we're clearing dockets. We just canceled the date for me on 2 occasions because we cleared all the cases. And we're doing that more and more. I mean, Ernie can talk about the pre-arb and all that because he does most of them, but we are pre-arbitrating and clearing dockets now. And we haven't been doing that all year, but we are doing it now.
So that 3,000, that's just for 3 months? So we're paying over $1,000 a month to cancel arbitrations, and I've got some, again, 3 years old. We have 2 arbitrators, I think, in our building. And yet we're canceling all of our arbitration meetings. We've only had how many this year? 2?
2. And then the ones that are scheduled, our advocates are not showing up, the ones who's assigned. We're not getting representation in Stockton.
Ernie can address the issues about the arbitration themselves, but I'm telling you, financially, we're doing better in those areas.
Well, can he address it now?
Yeah. You want to address it?
I believe we just had an arbitration in Stockton, right?
The
Yeah,
first
that's
one all
because
year.
we agreed for Ed to do it. That's the only reason
Yeah.
why it was there, because you don't show up.
Because you weren't
We
at
had
the
one-
meeting.
and one case, though.
And we have another date scheduled, I believe, for January.
Is that gonna be canceled too?
We have another date scheduled for January.
Who's going to advocate it?
Yeah, that's just
We'll see if
for now. We'll see. That's what it says.
Yeah.
So how much is each cancellation? What's the average cancellation on
It
a
varies.
arbitration?
Different arbitrators have different fees that they charge, and it varies. Some are cheaper, and if they're here, if they've flown from, like, I think one is in Phoenix or something, if he flies out and we cancel it the same day, and that has happened. I mean, I've had arbitrations where the arbitrators actually sit in front of us and we clear the cases while he's sitting there. We still have to pay for the date, but we've gotten what we wanted, so it's not necessarily lost.
Yeah, that's your building where you're allowed to do arbitrations, but in Oakland, we haven't been able to do any. And we don't even know what the outcome was when he did it. So, you know, I mean, like, I want to know, I want to know how much specifically was canceled, because from 2008 to now, we haven't had one. The only one that's come out of since 2008 of Oakland, Ed did. And that was back in, what
Again,
year?
I would defer to Ernie, but it's not, we're trying to get the case, resolutions on the cases, not necessarily to pay for arbitration.
Well, we hadn't ever had a pre-arb too until the other day, right before mine was canceled, and then Ernie took that over.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna ask.
Are we done talking about that?
The aprons came in Thursday. The executive board loaded them all up, 20 boxes of aprons. They should be available in the offices shortly. It was a big pallet, so those should be out to the offices soon.
In our building, we haven't even got ours from last year because our
We
steward.
didn't, these are actually the
Wait,
ones.
wait, because our steward will not go out and pass them around.
One of the things that we've asked to do with this shipment, because to buy the full load of aprons, it's over $20,000, so we paid about half of that. In your facility as well as mine, I'm sure about a third, maybe a quarter of the people actually wear the aprons, so rather than us passing to everybody who doesn't use them, we've told people if you need them, to come in the office and collect them. So, we're just gonna have some in our office, and I think that's what we're gonna do everywhere, so if somebody needs an apron, uses an apron, come and get it.
So we can come to local and get it?
No, come to your
What if nobody's there?
I can sneak in for you.
And then I have another question on regarding the payment. Did you pay every single steward in the union compensation?
On shop steward count?
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them, yes.
So you did knock out some people?
Yeah, there were some people that weren't paid.
Okay, so I can check with you later if my steward got paid?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out with the apron thing. So what you're telling me is you're gonna give me so many aprons, and when the aprons were due this year, we already announced to our membership that they weren't gonna be given out because you told us we weren't gonna give them. So now we're not gonna have one to give to everybody.
You know
They
what?
just
That
have the
Filipino
company
casual
when they
wasn't
need
wearing one last
Is that
night.
what you're saying?
I didn't get one. The casual got one.
We've been doing it in Sacramento.
Devin never gave it to
Fine
us
for us.
either. Yeah, you have to go in.
What is it that you're doing, Tony? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Any more questions on the treasurer's report?
She didn't hear what you just said?
What did you say about the aprons? I'm sorry. The last part, I didn't hear that. But you said,
I still have aprons left over from last year. We just left them in the office. We didn't pass them out to every single person, because not every single person needs them. But if you give them to them, they're gonna take them. And we're not trying to deny anything to anybody, but we tell them that they're in the office, come get them. A lot of people don't like, they just won't come get them.
What if you run out?
Yeah.
If we'll get more. Yeah, we have a supply of them now, in addition to the $10,000 something we just bought, we actually had some, remaining. I'm sorry?
That's not even enough.
I didn't hear that.
Any more questions for the treasurer's report? Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Is there a second? Second. All in favor? All against? No one wants to vote today. All right, it sounds like it's in favor. All right,
you need to get new
I
glasses.
was out on sick leave last quarter. I'll just go to open period for you.
Whoa, where's the president's report?
This is it.
So you did nothing in 3 months?
I was out for sick leave.
For
I'm
two.
going to open period right now, so
For
if you have
two,
any questions.
excuse me, no, I'm still talking. You were gone for 2 months. What about the other months? So no work was done in 3 months?
There was some visits done at that time, yes.
So then why couldn't you make a president's report, or Tony and Juanita handled a lot of your jobs?
When I was out.
Why
yeah.
wouldn't they mark that down?
So you want a report on what they did?
I want
No,
a
what you
president's
did.
report, which we're supposed to have, that you are supposed to submit.
No, he said for 2 months.
The requirement for a president's report.
I mean,
quarterly
okay, let me
report.
say, did you verify his sick leave? Because you told us you would.
Yes. Fine.
So he gave you some kind of documentation.
Yes, okay.
Well, because according to Tony, he had to threaten you to come back to work or he was not gonna pay you. And that's when you showed up to work.
Okay, Kim, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a little confused because the whole time that you were gone, I was told that you were still running the union.
Exactly.
Was that, is that true? Because I was told every day that you were still checking in and running the union. Because I was given a lot of different orders to do and to answer you specifically, and you weren't there. So I'm assuming that you were still running the union, and so why wouldn't there be a president's report of all the things that you just asked me to do during that time?
Usually the president report incurs just the visits from where I go, so if you want, I could have that for you, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So the other question I have is, during that time, I was called by Maria and told that I was to do some arbitrations, all right? There was 21 arbitrations scheduled, and I was to pre-arb these cases, come to the office and get them. I not only came to the office, but I came to the office, sat down with Tony Coleman. We went through the 21 cases that were gonna be there. We kind of had a game plan of what I should do. It was gonna be the first time to do the pre-arbs. The date was scheduled with Jane Davis. Me and Maria show up to do it because I got management to allow me to have Maria there. And I called Maria to ask her to tell you that Maria was gonna be there, all right? And the next thing I know, the meeting was canceled, nobody called us and told us, and you took the pre-arbs. You canceled the pre-arbitration meeting, and then the day of that, then I was told, but never, I received a letter that next day telling me that there was gonna be an arbitration on the 18th, but you didn't invite me to that, and the arbitration meeting was not during my work schedule.
Yeah, I was already back to work, and I didn't know about that pre-arb meeting originally. That pre-arb meeting was supposed to be with us together. Is what I wanted to do, and what I wanted to establish is go to pre-arb meetings with each branch president so they could be a part of that. That's what I was trying to do. And then when I found out that that meeting was done without me even having any knowledge, I said, well, I want to go to that meeting. And then after I found out about the mix-up, you and I spoke on the phone because we were talking about that you and Maria had taken time of yourself to do that, so we made sure that you got paid for that.
Yes. Okay, but here, you could have just let the meeting go on since we were there. We got paid for actually working on other cases that we had that day, but we could have went on with the pre-arb meeting had you just called Jane. But the thing of it is that I'm confused about was that Maria told me that you told me to do the pre-arbs. So was it Maria that gave the permission for me to do it, or was it you telling me to do them? Because right now you just told me that you didn't know about it.
I wanted you to prep for the pre-arbs because I wanted to go to
No,
the meeting with
I
you.
was told to schedule it because if I didn't schedule it, we were going to pay. That's
Just answer the
exactly what
question.
was it.
Just answer the question.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, but you weren't the one getting the message from Maria. Okay, so I'm letting you know I was told to please do it by this date because we were gonna have to pay.
Yeah, and also, one of the cases we had won was the SPBS grievance that you were supposed to be meeting with, labor management on. And, Wiltie had forwarded you all the paperwork and you were supposed to schedule an appointment and you let that go. I spoke with you at the last, training we had and you said you were gonna get with them. I am, but, I mean, this case has been going on, and you have neglected it, okay? And we've already, basically, there was almost a settlement there for this. I mean, you are totally neglecting the union by not handling these cases, because we sit on them, we're losing them, and you're telling us what you're doing, but you're not there, you're not doing these things.
Yeah, I'm handling that case actually this week, and if you want to be a part of that meeting, you can.
Okay.
What are we doing about the buildings that are under closure amps right now?
Actually, you got the handout about the hold on until May until any closes.
No, what are you
consolidation.
doing as
Can I
our
finish
local
answering your
president?
question? Let me finish answering the question and then you can talk. And since we have that time frame to go out there, I'm getting some people together and already scheduling appointments to go out there and give our points on what type of legislation we want passed to help us out, to get more funds from the post office to possibly not do the post.
No, not legally with Congress. What are you doing with our building, our plant managers, with labor relations? What have you done with them? Because did you show up to anybody's meeting?
I did.
The town hall meetings?
I
You
did
didn't
the
go?
ones that I could go to, yeah.
Which one did you go to?
I went to Reading, and I've been to North Base before.
But
I've been
I'm
to
talking about
Salinas.
right now.
Okay, recently when I was either not here or I was in Washington going for contract negotiations.
And you've had no meetings with our management or area management
I've had
on
meetings
these?
with management all along, talking about this possibly happening in the future and what the plans were that the post office were gonna do about the AMP studies. We've been having meetings about this.
Right,
all
but
along.
every time you've been to our building, which we've not had a branch meeting since the beginning of the year, you told us this AMP would never go through. You kept telling the people, it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. I would like to know what you did. Did you have meetings? You have a record of those meetings?
I
Or
believe
Juanita
we
has
did
a
have
record?
I believe we did have branch meetings, and then we actually had a general membership meeting.
You had a general membership meeting, but you have not been out to our building in 6 months for a branch meeting. And we're under possible closure. We've already been excess, but you still have not shown up. Our union's not doing anything. DOT's not even answering on grievances.
Okay, your question?
I'm telling you, the last general membership meeting we had where you were present, Dot said I could come get the grievances. I was told, the steward came and told you right after that meeting, she was lying. I also emailed you, you did not answer. So what are you gonna do about that?
You want a copy of the agreements, is that what you're saying?
Where are they?
Is that what you're saying?
She
You
said
want
it
a
was
copy of-
settled, they're not settled.
Is there a grievance copy that you're after?
I want everything.
I know, but is there a grievance copy? you-
Well, do you have them? What did you do when the steward came and told you that was a lie?
I don't know anything.
Tony said he did.
Somebody
He said he did, so you have two people against you saying he did.
Fine, but do you need a copy of the grievance?
Yes, I want to know if I'm going to get paid for those like you paid the other people.
Did you request a copy of that grievance in writing to the local? Okay.
Put your hand down.
I've already requested many things from you.
Kelly?
You have the copies, remember?
Sorry.
Yes, go ahead, Kelly.
Sorry. You were in Washington when we had our town hall meeting, right? In Stockton? How come we didn't send a representative? Because I know
I believe Reuben Martin was there.
Ruben went, he wasn't on your behalf, he went because, and Kim, or the branch president in Oakland went, but it wasn't for you. They went just to
I
back.
talked to Fernando before that meeting was coming up, and he said he was gonna be fine with that.
Fernando's dad passed away, so he wasn't able to
That
go.
wasn't planned for, that was an
Yeah.
unfortunate thing,
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that that was gonna happen. And then fortunately, Reuben took it upon himself to go.
Yeah, he did it on his own. You should have, being in your position, knowing you were going to be in Washington, you should have had somebody be there. Because we didn't have a voice. We had, us, but we needed our local president there. And you haven't been to Stockton. We're closing. And are you going Monday? I heard you were going to be the
We're
Monday.
going Monday or Tuesday.
So you will be there.
I haven't gotten a confirmation on the appointment.
And are you going to talk to the mail handlers, or what are you going for?
I'm going there to talk to them.
And how are you getting there?
I'll get it right.
Tony, right? So I'm just asking Tony, when you're giving him a ride everywhere, are we paying for that too? Because I think Ernie should just stay in the office and work, and you should just go out and do it anyway. Why have two people getting paid for the same job?
It's my responsibility to get to, and I'll get to them. There's nobody being paid for anything.
When's the
That's
last time
unpaid.
you physically been in the Stockton PNDC?
It's been quite a while.
Why is that?
Because your travel reports earlier this year reflect that you've been there, but you haven't. Isn't that
Travel report
falsification?
It might have reflected a Stockton visit as far as branch meetings.
When's the last time you toured our building? When's the last time you had a labor management meeting?
I don't know, when's the last time we scheduled one there? Fernando?
We had one the other week, last week. No, labor management.
Okay, the responsibility of scheduling a labor management meeting is actually the branch president's responsibility also.
But then you tell them that they're not supposed to do it unless you okay it.
Any more questions?
Lie.
Apron at the women there. But I think that's not so hard at CDC for us to work harder and to do more, to constantly we're trying to keep our facility open. And I'm noticing because I'm dumping and also in the belt that sometimes mail falls into the pocket. And then I walk into the back and say, oh shoot, I got a letter here. And I'm trying to kind of like trip out if this has happened to other people or not. But if we can call them the mail in our pockets, they're also putting guards on the doors and checking purses again, they hadn't done that. So if we get caught with something like that, I wanted to reflect on this meeting that I'm bringing this to this meeting saying, hey, there's a problem with those patients having those big old pockets low where that they can, the mail can fall off the belt or off of the machine into their pocket.
They have to have pockets.
A zipper with the
Check
before you move from the unit.
It's like, constantly checking your pockets. That way, I'm thinking if we have it, something does happen, I can say I've got that's all in my pocket. Because right now, there's
Very weird.
Where these those pockets? They don't let us put our purses on the table. I mean, they say, don't bring nothing on the floor. So those pockets are now probably saying, oh, put my cell phone in there, put my money in there, put my ID in there.
A little tablet bill.
Yeah, you know, one thing about it, that maybe next year when you guys buy the apron, if we can order something that has a closed pocket.
Just Velcro it
So it's kind of open your mind to it a little bit.
or tape it.
With the new legislation going on and everything that's going on with Congress, what is the union's plan to work to reinforce, re-secure the mail handlers on their perspective on how they're going to handle just dealing with the new legislation and dealing with management, now the management has shown their obviously blatant disrespect of the union and its contract. How are you guys going to handle and attack that?
We are negotiating the contract. We're in the middle of it right now, and they've come after us with quite a few different proposals. They want to take away your Christmas pay. They want to take away your overtime after 8 hours. They want. They want. I know. I know. And a lot of that is included in their legislation too, just like they did.
Your union plan is included in their legislation?
Some of the things that they want to take away from us in the contract, they're trying to get from us in also legislation. There's a bill that's trying to be passed right now, 2309, where they're trying to take things like the no layoff clause away from us, so the post office will have more flexibility to just let people go. They're trying to take away the requirements in the contract as far as closing buildings, so they can just do it without even, they want to actually take away the contract away from us in legislation. They're trying to get this passed.
Right.
So as I mentioned earlier, that what the Senate has put out recently is that they're going to put a hold on everything until May of next year to give legislation the opportunity to get all their postal issues out of the way before we do any more closures and consolidation. So the plan that I've been instructed to do from the national office is to go and present our case to congressmen and senators and to basically lobby and let them know what the mail handlers need and what we want from our representatives. And that's what we're in the process of doing right now.
Is, what is the union gonna do to make us secure, the mail handlers? What form of attack or what plan are you guys gonna put out to inform the mail handlers that, hey, we're working for you, we got you back. What are you gonna do? If I'm insecure about my job and my future as a mail handler, what is the union doing to handle my insecurity? That's my question. That's what I want to know.
You mean as far as communicating with you?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Because, like I said, there's a lot of new issues that we're dealing with. Fighting legislation, fighting the contract is one thing. How do you plan to fight the legislation? And another part of that question is with all the new attacks, because we dealing with some things we never dealt with as a local. I mean, from branch president to local president, you guys have been going through some things that we never seen before. And as a mail handler, when I don't see my local president and I don't see my branch president in place to do certain things, because you guys have had some unusual circumstances to occur with you guys, how am I going to feel secure? What are you guys going to do to reinstate that security? You guys are going to do your job if you're hiring for them. We voted you guys in for us to do. That's what I'm asking.
I can only answer for myself, and that's to do better and to make more of a presence and do whatever I can to bring that security. That's all I can answer. I can come on board, I can meet more, I can communicate with you on the floor more.
What's your game plan?
I believe it's just to be more present on the working floor and see whatever I can get involved in, instead of not being a part of it myself.
I like that.
Well, I wanna, since, you directed it, I actually so agree with everything that you said right there, Reggie. I don't know what, and thank you for bringing it up, because first of all, I call him, he doesn't return my phone calls, all right?
I've done the same
I
thing.
mean, you're right, I have filed charges against Ernie, but I keep on have to doing what I need to do to communicate with him. Maybe if I text him like 10, 15 times, I get a return phone call from him, all right? And it's to the point now where I've lost all respect for him, so what's the even point? I actually got a letter of removal for my participation in doing part of the legislative work, for going out there to the day of picket, the informational picket, and, I actually settled it at a step 1 with Ed's help and my other shop stewards' help. We kind of all threw down around it a little bit, and he actually called us to my labor relations and asked them that they had to withdraw my settlement because Ed was involved. And that's a fact. I got that straight from Jane Davis, all right? And the same thing that he did that is when he canceled our arbitrations. So I have yet to, he held that arbitration, he has yet to call me once and say, oh, Kim, you can tell the mail handlers, this is what happened to your cases. This is what I settled on. So, the lack of communication to me is like, I can call there every day. He's either not there, sometimes he's there, and then I'll get a hold of him and we'll have a short little conversation. But that's usually like an immediate thing where we haven't had a talk. Like, matter of fact, he told me that he sat down with me when I became branch president and brought me in the office and gave me the little package he gives branch president. He never gave me anything. I never went into his office, he never gave me any package. So there is communication and it is making it tough, and we are in difficult times. And as far as the legislative stuff, I can't tell you, I get accused by my own shop stewards that that's really not my job, because it also is my passion, but I can just tell you, I'm doing everything possible. I took out the petition, gave them out to every mail handler. I've got hundreds back from my mail handlers. I take them out and got thousands of signatures at different rallies and different events that I go to. I'm communicating with other labor unions. And so I'm doing as much as I can do, because what I decided is not to wait for any leadership, to be the leader of my own and do the best that I can do within that.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I do.
But actually, no, wait. Can I add something to that real quick, Kim? Can you answer her question about you? She's saying you called labor relation and try to get her letter rescinded. What is that about?
Oh, wow.
So labor relation is lying because we're used to them lying, right?
She also called you a slimy individual.
Jane Davis.
You're gonna come under the local office, and you're gonna have to fight management. And fighting management and your local union.
That's
office,
horrible.
You're gonna
Right.
have to deal with some of your co-workers also.
Yeah.
Because as a shop steward, you stand alone. If anybody is a shop steward, you know what I'm talking about.
Ernie,
Hold on, Charles got.
okay, what are our plans in the future, and looking back on what you caused? I mean, I understand everybody gets sick and everybody got issues, whether it's a death in the family, whether it's rehab or whatever. But the purpose of the executive board is to keep to where the local 302 can continue to function in case of emergency. If you have to go, if you die tomorrow, they're supposed to be able to take over and keep moving. Okay? What you did while you were in rehab was you stopped that process. You hurt that process on many levels. Many unions, many issues got stopped because of your selfishness with your rehab. You should allow the executive board to continue on with the missions of Local 302, whereas they can actually go out, see what's going on. Because being in rehab, doing something over the phone, but not being in the field or not being able to go to the site, you were not able to clearly run Local 302 from rehab. By doing that, you hurt us.
Yes.
Okay? So we need something through the executive board, put in through the executive board, that from now on, anytime, whether it's the executive board member, whether it's the president of Local 302, if you're not functional within 2 weeks, the executive board should continue on as if you don't exist no more until your return. The final running for rehab, you heard all of us. Everything we fought, every shop steward out there, and like you say, this $209 check for a year's worth of work is not worth it when, like he said over there, we're fighting the union, we're fighting management, and then we gotta go back and answer to everybody we are fighting for while we're not doing it correctly. And it's because we're hampered by what took place during this time. This just amplified it to the fact, and when you say you're gonna come back out here and do it, Ernie, this is a lot of years we've given you a chance. You know, you need to step up to the plate.
I just want to ask a question. I'm from San Jose. Can I ask a question? When Ernie's not visible, isn't this vice president supposed to step in?
And that's what I'm saying. That's why we need to make sure we get that done right.
I feel for like Scott Jackson over there, insecurities. I think what we need to do as union members is all of us get together and stick together because apparently we're not voting right.
Right, we need to start it to the
We need
meeting.
to all stand up and know what is presented on the floor, what we're voting for, and all of us vote together. And if we stick together, then we'll overcome. But if we divide, we're gonna fall. And I don't know about the rest of you, but San Jose is the weakest union of all you guys. I see you guys are strong, and all you guys are speaking up. And we don't have anything.
I'll tell you, we tried to help Lennon. Lennon's called the office numerous times asking for help. Our does not come to help
But
him.
you know what?
So we're all trying to
Not
help.
just with Lennon. I mean, when I say we're weak as a team. Our staff members won't even help each other.
Because
They
the
gotta
leadership
stand up.
is not there. They should have been
No,
organizing
it has
everybody
nothing
and
to do with
taking care
Ernie.
of
They
it.
won't step up because they're scared to talk. It has nothing
But
to
they
do with
shouldn't
Ernie.
be. That's the whole problem.
But that's what I'm saying.
If
They
we
need to
were
get
working
strong by
together
getting
as a group.
courage. That's why I'm saying we need you guys to help us because our members, they won't talk, period. I don't care if Ernie's present every day, they will not talk up. It's just the individuals who they are.
Right. I mean, that's also the problem we've had, like in my building. People see the union's not supporting them or Ernie doesn't come out to handle a problem, then they just back out. They'll pay their dues, but they're not going to participate anymore because of everything that goes on up here, all the corruption.
Okay, Kim, you have your hand up.
You got Tony over here.
He got nothing to say to
Okay,
you.
I'll get right back to you.
Okay, so I want to go back to the AMP studies and what's going on in the plant closures. All right, so North Bay, I've had a few labor and management meetings. Actually, mine are going really good. I mostly meet. I've been trying to rotate all my shop stewards in and out of them, so everybody's getting a chance to be able to attend. And one of the things that I'm hearing is that first of all, right after January, all the first AMP study mail will be there. All right. And now my plant manager has said that we don't need anybody. We don't need one person right now when that mail comes in Oakland. And the other thing she said is that even when the AMP, and then she went on to say that, yes, there is that moratorium, because I just had a labor management meeting. Yes, there is that moratorium, but what they're planning to do is section the mail out. Like, so it's gonna come in sections. So then we're gonna get another, like, maybe we'll get all the flat mail, you know, or we'll get all the priority, all the first, the priority mail. So we're gonna get it in sections, but she says that there's only gonna be a little bit of mail staged there at North Bay by May 15th. Most of the mail will already be in my building by April, and if we don't get an app, she says she does not need more than 20 mail handlers. She's fighting to get the apps like they have in San Jose. She doesn't know if it's going to happen, but at the very most, she projects 20 mail handlers. And this is what they've told her that is all that she will get. So just to let you know that. And then I want to know, have you been told that? Has there been any discussions with you on that? Because my mail handlers want to know how they're going to be affected, how many people are going to be slotted in with them. You know, it has a ripple effect. I mean, you know, I hate to say it, but, you know, I am not happy that North Bay is closing, but it does help Oakland feel, on one hand, a little bit more secure. But on the other hand, it also brings up issues as far as where people's seniority is going to be like. And you know, I mean, we would like to be able to be a little bit more prepared. And I don't know if they're talking to you and they're telling you what they're telling me. That's number one. And the other thing is, with these AMP studies, even the ones that you couldn't make, have you wrote a letter? Did you personally write a letter to them? Because, you know, they have open comments where you can send in your letter, so, you know, 10 days after the meeting. So have you sent in letters, personally sent in letters to all of the plant closing?
Why are you
If
looking
I
at
may,
Tony?
on that-
I asked
on that
him.
issue, Yeah, I went on his behalf to the one in Reno. I was originally planning on going to the one in Stockton, but I couldn't go, but I wrote letters on behalf of Local 302 to both of those, for both of those, because one is in Las Vegas District and one is in.
My question would be, why would you have to? He wasn't in rehab then, he was here. So my question to you is why, I'm asking you, why haven't you wrote a letter? I mean, I know I wrote a letter to all of them.
Your first question was if I had wrote a letter.
Yes, I'm asking you if you wrote a letter.
My answer
I
is
wasn't
no.
asking
My
Tony.
answer is no.
Wow.
Okay, so my other question is, have they talked to you about anything that's going to be happening with North Bay and how it's going to be affecting Oakland?
I've heard two different stories, two different scenarios. I heard
From
some
whom?
of-
From whom?
From the plant managers in Oakland and the plant managers in San Francisco.
Okay.
So you're not
Scenarios.
getting,
I heard some of the employees may go to San Francisco, some of them may go to Oakland, they don't know what they're gonna do.
I'm going to you. Okay. So you've got nothing in writing, no communication in writing with management or area?
Other than the AMP study, no. The
Okay,
notification of the AMP
because
study and saying
the
that
mail
the
handlers on our
facilities affected,
own, we've talked to area. We've talked to those people. Why haven't you done that
no.
already?
I've already talked to Area. I talk to Area almost every other day about what's.
But you're not asking
And
for
right now,
anything
the
in
main-
writing?
The main thing we're working on right now is what's going on in Stockton.
What was that?
But, so Stockton is closing at the same time that all these 6 other buildings are affected, and you're only handling one because, what, you're scared of them? You don't worry about us?
As of right now, Stockton's not closing, North Bay's not closing, all these offices are not closing. Right now, we just have an excess.
So we should just do nothing. We should just do nothing and let them do whatever they want. We're not gonna fight.
No, you're answering my question, that's not true. What we're trying to do is figure out where we're gonna have landing spots in case that does happen. And in some offices, it does not make any sense whatsoever. to
Your
close the
office
building.
wouldn't give Ed the withheld job list. I gave it to him this week.
I asked for it numerous times. We were
Your
never given
secretary can't
notifications.
send it.
We got sandbagged, okay? I called for it many times. Wouldn't get forwarded from Richard's office, wouldn't get forwarded from Maria. Okay?
So I got it off the internet. Why can't your office give us what we need to fight?
We will.
Oh, he's gonna look into it.
My other question was back to San Jose.
Yeah, Tony.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Mr. President,
Hey, I was
Airborne.
Tony Bell, San Francisco PNDC, Shop Short on Tour 1. In an effort for the Madam Recorder to write and take copious notes, I'm gonna slow down my questions. I've got several questions. In an effort not to take up all the open time, but I want questions written, recorded, and answered in a timely manner. So, Madam Recorder, I will give you an opportunity to write the question down verbatim. Mr. President, my first question is, I got a grievance that I filed back in May, June of last year, near and dear to me, in reference to the call-in. Now, I understand National gave up on it. They don't care about that unscheduled call-in number or that telephone number. I think it sucks. But personally, my belief is there's always an exception to the policy. We all know that it's all leave, to include sick leave and annual leave, has to be requested in advance, with the exception of an unexplained illness or injury or an emergency. We've won this fight before, where what they're doing is they'll say that's unscheduled. Wrong answer. That's why there's an exception to the policy. I filed a step 1, and step 1 I can argue my case. Denied, because management doesn't want to make that schedule. They want to make it unscheduled so we can be unregular in attendance, so they can fire us. Number 2, at step 2, same argument. Wrong answer. So finally, after it went to Richard Sue, which I don't know what kind of argument he put up, the same gift of gab I got with verbiage in my step 3. My comments were clear. So 6 months later, I finally got the step 3 decision denied. I don't know what he did. He must have slept doing that step 3 hearing. My question to you, Mr. President, now that it's in your hands, are you going to fight it and send it to arbitration? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, we'll see. When?
When?
In line behind mine are 3 years old. Put it in line.
Yeah, you got waiting 3, you say.
And a subsequent question to that, how come Richard Sue can't get off his butt, pick up the phone and say, hey, Mr. Bell, I've read your comments, what do you want me to do? Or can you come in here? I don't know where he's at. I don't know where he sleeps, but he's doing a lot of that.
You do your job.
Okay, Madam Reporter, and you answered that one. Thank you, Mr. President. My next question. We got a new plant manager that walked into San Francisco PNEC. His name is David Snow. You know him? Snow, whatever he is, I don't know. Anywho, nevertheless, he's management, and just like a clerk or a scab, they're scumbags. Anywho, point I'm making, he walked in the building and he's starting to go through the locker room.
What?
He cleared out every one of those chairs, lawn chairs, tailgating chairs, anything we did, and he takes a notebook, pen and paper, and asks every individual upstairs, what is your name, your pay location, your supervisor, are you on lunch, on your break, and so on and so forth. Have you talked to him about that harassment?
Yes.
You discussed it?
Yes.
Is he going to cease and desist immediately?
Yes.
Airborne. Boom. Now, also near and dear to me are these career part-time flexibles, who some of them got 10 years, 12 years of TTS. When are we going to convert them?
You can't convert her.
What I'm hoping to see is in this next contract, it'll be negotiated in that contract as part of whatever settlement we come up with, that maybe there'll be some changes in Article 7 as far as how they're going to be converted. I mean, I know we've made changes before, but those changes didn't go along with the times as fast as we needed them to do, because PTFs are ending up being PTFs forever. So we need to do something like maybe if you're a PTF for 5 years, you automatically get converted.
Airborne.
But right now, that's not in place, but I know from going to the meeting, that's something that's been brought up.
It's sad, Mr. President. And last but not least, I think I speak on behalf of almost everybody in this room. I think what they're looking for, Mr. President, is some clarity, because I grew up understanding the chain of command, and I think we were confused when you were incapacitated. And what I mean by that is when President Obama was if he were to be incapacitated, the first man to step in the plate would have been Vice President Biden. It wouldn't have been the Secretary of State, wouldn't have been the Secretary of Treasury, it wouldn't have been the governor. If you were incapacitated for whatever reason, why wasn't Vice President Reuben Martin Jr. the president? What I'm trying to get is some clarity, because you know what? I don't really understand that. What is that book they got?
The Constitution.
Yeah, I know the United States Constitution. I swore an oath to that one. But the one for the local 302, that's the one that's confusing. I'll tell you, it's very confusing. So what I'm trying to get is some clarity. What is the chain of command?
The chain
And
of
can we
For
get it
local
right?
302.
I wasn't gone. I was gone in rehab, but I was still running the union.
No, you were
Nobody
not.
was
You're not
doing
absent, you
work.
cannot.
One of the reasons why
Let me rephrase the question. You answered it. Let me rephrase the question. In your absence, and if you were incapacitated, who was in charge of Local 302?
In my absence, if I was incapacitated, if that happened,
Yes,
the
sir.
vice president would be put in.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
So why did you put Tony and Juanita in
Already
charge?
answered that question.
No, you didn't.
Did you call me? Okay, so I have two questions. How many mail handlers overall in our local? You know, I know that you might not, you seem a little iffy, you don't think the plants are gonna close, you know, these AMP studies might not go, but I actually believe they're already a done fucking deal. So there's so many mail handlers, how many are being affected? Let's say all of the plants close, how many mail handlers is there total that you're looking at being affected here?
Probably over a couple hundred.
Over a couple?
Wow, you don't know?
Okay, so you don't actually know the number.
A couple hundred
So
just
over
in my building.
Couple hundred. So, do you have they talked to you, is there enough land spots in our local for these couple
We have
hundred people?
100.
There's not. So have they talked to you how far they're going? They haven't. So, you know, I mean, we're talking about it's right around the corner. We're not talking about that this is something. This was announced in September 14th. These AMP studies were announced on September 14th. This is January. They're right around the corner, and we don't even, you can't give me the exact number of how many mail handlers you're fighting for in case all of this goes. You don't know that you don't even know, like, how far they're talking about having to sending them. I mean, I hear rumors that some part-time flexes have got letters saying up to 900 miles away, part-time regulars. I mean, those are the things that all of us, even though it might not be directly affecting me, all of us here want to know. I think that was part of what Reggie's question was. Like, you know, this doesn't just affect you, because on the serious side, it affects this union big time, because if we lose 250 retire and 200 get excessed out, what does our finances look like then? You know, every time somebody leaves, that's a union dues member that takes from all of us less money to be able to go to arbitrations, or maybe to pay for cancellation arbitrations, you know, I mean, whatever. You know, but I mean, these affect us all, and not to have these answers is ridiculous at this stage. And the other thing is, when I go from out of my office for a week, if I've got a scheduled vacation, I always write a letter to management saying either Dean or somebody else will be acting in my behalf, because it's respect, first of all, for the people that work with me, to be able to have the faith in them that they could do the job, and that you never know. Anything could happen for me while I'm gone there, you know. So the union should not be a one-man show. It should be run by everybody. So I suggest, like, there was already a proposal, I think Charles did, that the next time you go, that it be mandatory that you appoint the vice president of this union. It doesn't, you know, you can have your job back when you get out, you know, but it was ridiculous. You didn't even know that you gave me permission to do the pre-arbs.
We're gonna call for a vote?
Is that a question?
I think she's just making a statement.
No, hold on. My question is, why didn't you send Ruben to the last SAMLU meeting when he is the alternate delegate? What was your purpose for not sending him at a time like this?
The purpose of not sending him to SAMLU?
Yeah, why didn't you send him when he's the
All the
alternate
information
delegate?
for the SAMLU meeting I get anyway.
You canceled
What
his
about us
trip.
getting it?
You don't trickle it down to us? We still haven't heard what went on to that SAMLU meeting.
When was
Not
that?
to cut you off, but I see the children are getting restless and hungry.
Come on!
No, I can't wait.
Your father or mother,
can't-
you
no,
know what it's
we
like,
can't
or
wait.
grandfather, grandmother, you know what it's like to try to entertain your children for
This
hours.
is
You know,
our
it is
job.
Think of another plan.
We gotta remember, we still got families here. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to keep it real.
General membership meeting.
Kelly, you have kids here?
Serve them.
Let me ask the question since I got interrupted earlier. My question was going back to San Jose. I know in our last general membership meeting there was a vote for Ed to go help San Jose, and he said he never got authorization for that. So are you not letting him go?
No, I've been meeting with planning and
No, they authorized. It was
They didn't
by
want you.
Ruben. They authorized Ed to go. So what's up with that?
Well,
the only one right now that's authorized to do that is me.
Okay,
San
but for
Jose
that one
complained,
day,
you don't answer, you
for
don't
that
call
one day,
back.
he was authorized to do it, because the Constitution said when you weren't there, he was the president for that one day. Like, if you're not at a meeting, he actually gets to do it. So you're gonna say that anything that he decided on that meeting wasn't valid?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh,
What kind of president does that?
That's a violation of the
Why do we even
Constitution.
have the position then?
So you expect for us to vote for you again, right? Is that how it works?
No,
You
Tony
screw up the
already
members
said
and
he'll
you
be
expect for
gone.
us to
Tony
vote for
already
you?
said he'll be gone.
He got his money, so that's it.
but you see, he already got his money? He already bankrupted us, huh?
All I hear is I hear a lot of people running for office in the near future.
Oh, shut up.
No, we're not.
This is our job. Who's interrupting you? Don't care, I wanted to interrupt you. Oh, well.
My nephew said, where are you at? I tried to get every bill, and now it's you.
Yeah.
The stuff we're talking about, you could go and talk to him in his office or some other thing. You know, we all want to go get something to eat.
I came here
Excuse
for a
me, we've
union
called,
meeting. I
we've
came
written,
for
we don't get a response.
Enough's enough, though. All you're doing is running for office here.
No, she's not.
They're trying to get answers to questions that have not been answered for months or years on end. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
We have a captive
You haven't been at
audience
the
at the
meetings,
moment.
you don't know. This is the same complaint every time.
Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting. We're gonna have to get going. We only have the room upstairs for so much time. I know we have a lot of gifts here to give out that you guys wanna get to. I'm gonna go give Maria and have her, start working on all this. We also have the drawing for the television to get to. So, and also we have the pack drawing. We also have scholarships to get to that I would like to get to.
I heard his daughter got the scholarship.
Ruben got Bob.
Okay, we have the scholarship folks here. Can I see a raise of hands?